Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026, our very first show here on Breakfast Central, and we thought to come in with a little bit of spice to give you a different feel and let you know that you're expected to have so much surprises and excitement all through the year. We hope that you had a wonderful crossover and that you're really optimistic about the goodies that lie ahead in the new year. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. My name is Olive Emodi.
And I'm Benga Abure. Happy New Year, everyone, wherever you're watching across the world. I believe everyone has crossed over, even the guys in North America. Yes. It's 2026 everywhere in the world. The New Zealanders, actually, there's a small island called Christmas Island, just after New Zealand. They were the first to see 2026.
We're waiting for others to catch up.
They will also be the first to see Rapture.
Wow.
But on a serious note, it's great to have you join us this beautiful year. I mean, we did a lot last year, but trust us, we have a lot in store for you in 2026. 2026 is going to be massive.
I thought you live like 2025.
That's right. That's right. It just said massive. You didn't add, please.
Yes,
this
let's
is,
leave it at that.
Anyway, it's 2026. I think my message would be welcome to 2026. It's time for us to do something differently, if you must and if you may. But again, I woke up this morning and said something has started. And whether we like it or not, because we belong to the news and current affairs circle, your brain is much more like an antenna. It's telling you, oh, remember, today's the 1st of January, 1st of January 2026. And we're still going to get used to the fact that you have to write 2025 at some point and then you cancel and then you write 2026. You know, that happens
It takes
often.
like a month.
Yeah, it takes like a period of time.
Into a new year. And even when you're saying, you're welcome to so 2025, 2026, it will take a while before it fully settles in. But whilst we hadn't gotten into 2026 yet, it will interest you to know that your politicians have even got into 2027. So the rest of us Nigerians have caught up with, or we're catching up with them. We're playing catch up. But it's good to have you here. We're streaming live on YouTube as usual. Go on YouTube. News Central Live is where we're streaming. Drop a comment. Do you like what we see? Do we look good? Do you like that we chose to start the new year on a new note? Gentlemen, I must commend you that you both look like a delight.
Thank you very much.
It's so great to be flanked.
Allow
me to compliment you first now. Okay. It's so great to be flanked by incredibly handsome men that are not just handsome externally, but are seasoned with depth, intellectual depth. And I consider it an honor to have been able to serve alongside with you in delivering the finest of media practice in terms of journalism and broadcasting. And you both made my 2025 beautiful. It's one thing to like your job. You need to stop
at this point, because there's no way we can top this.
I'm almost done. It's one thing to like your job.
Crying, man.
It's another thing to like the people that you do it with. And I really like my colleagues, and I consider this an immense blessing. So thank you for making 2025.
I would go further and say, I really don't like you. I love you. Yes, you're an amazing human being.
Thank you so much.
You have a beautiful heart. And you make coming to work every day special.
Thank you so
absolutely
much.
And the same applies to Joe. It's just that I can't tell him I love.
No.
I mean, many beer.
Let's not forget to. I mean, I'm going to say the same. Working with you guys has been splendid. Olive just highlighted something, and that's true. You wake up every morning. With the kind of work we do, we have to sleep very late at night and wake up very early in the morning. I wake up 4 a.m. every morning.
Yes.
And when you wake up at that time, there are two things that keeps you going. You look at the fact that you have to provide. So it's key. That's a driver. Secondly, okay, let's say 3. Secondly, you look at the fact that it's something you love doing.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is, who are the people you're going to work with? They motivate you.
Who makes life easy.
I remember where I used to work in, there's some places you might work in and you don't feel, you love the job,
but you don't
feel motivated going there. Yeah, we must be honest, News Central is actually a good place to work, whether we like it or not.
And Breakfast Central team is the best team.
Lovely guys. And we must say that the team also looking ravishing today.
Yes.
I think we should call
amazing.
Them and at the end of the show.
Maybe at the end of the show we should actually
introduce them to our audience.
Let's give them their 2 minutes of fame.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
now that we're done with all the love, you can continue with showing us all the love in the comment section on YouTube. Let's now get into the political stories today. In Port Harcourt last year, whichever you prefer.
No, Port Harcourt, just say last year.
Last year. Former Senator Magnus Abe stirred fresh political conversation when he declared that if any Nigerian politician were given the option to choose only one friend in politics, anyone who is wise, should choose Nyesom Wike. Abe said that Wike has proven to be loyal and dependable in difficult moments, describing him as someone who stands firmly by his allies when it truly matters. He noted that in Nigerian politics, where alliances often shift overnight, having a reliable friend can determine political survival, and in his view, Wike fits that description. Recall that Abe and Wike had their share of political tension in the past, including open disagreements and rivalry during River State heated political battles. And now he says that those differences do not change Wike's reputation for courage and consistency with his allies. His comment has since triggered mixed reactions, with many saying he's sending a message to President Tinubu, while others are saying he's directly referring to Governor Fubara. Let's take a look at the video.
If this is the only, if any Nigerian politician is given the option to choose only one friend in politics, if the person is wise, we should choose Wike as his only friend. If you have only one friend, let it be Wike. If you are to choose only one opponent, please make sure that that opponent is not Wike. Because if your one opponent is Wike, you will have problems in this country. We, the Kokana people, we, the Ogoni people, we have chosen our own friend. In the politics of Nigeria, you and Tinubu are our friends. If this is the only friends we will have, we are content to have you people. We will not.
If you dey follow Fubara, no dey go corner. Fubara, they tell you something. If you dey follow Asuwaji, no dey waka corner. Fubara, they tell you something. See Fubara tell you something. See Fubara tell you something. If you dey follow Fubara, Fubara tell you something. Fubara tell you something. Fubara tell you something. If you dey follow Asuwaji, no dey waka corner.
Governance of River State people like a battle, go to battle. As we sit here now, I'm moving to Fubara. The local governor of River State. There is only one governor in River State. Whether you like it or you don't like it or if you like, shout from now to tomorrow. Only how many governors?
All right, so we're starting this year with the controversy that has started already in River State. It's hotting up. And it's 2026.
I wouldn't call it controversy. They're just affirming their loyalty to a political friend.
I can smell a rat from afar. And it's just the start of 2026. And you know, by the way, everyone should understand that this is the real political year. It's not 2027.
Yeah, of course.
It is 2026.
The heavy lifting will be done this year.
It started in 2025.
All the conventions will be done this year.
You know, 2026, you have the conventions. Everybody will pick who's going to represent their party, the primaries, and so on and so forth. It starts in 2026. So we're going to see a lot of conversations, controversies, and so on. And while we're highlighting that in River State,
and more defections.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, of course.
After they've done conventions and some political gladiators
did not emerge, they'll try to quickly move.
Look to other parties. If they don't get Labour Party, they can try Zenith Labour Party.
I agree. Things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's see what Nigerians are saying about this statement on X. Of course, your opinion counts as well. Please go on YouTube and drop a comment. We're streaming live on YouTube. Emino Patrick says, subtly told the president not to have Wike as an enemy. Really? I said it before the problem had landed in APC already. It is Wike that will destroy APC and fail Tinubu. Who is Wike really? Maybe he has something against, or who is really Wike? Maybe he has something against the president that we don't know, Emino Patrick says. Arabapura says, they keep sending cryptic messages to Tinubu. Magnus, what a shame. And then the next one, Port Harcourt Socials, these people have no shame. Our next one, and I used to like this guy before, upon waiting we can use your IC for Rivers election. Omo, now wow, Big Local Source says.
You know what they say about no permanent friends and enemies.
Yes, and the last one says, next election goes strong.
He goes strong, my brother.
On YouTube.
And guess what? He said next election goes strong. Look at the date in which he said it. December 31, 2025.
Absolutely.
So he was getting ready for today, from the start of today. That's why I said 2026. If you they follow the situation.
This next one, I want to take on YouTube as well, just to remind our audience that we're taking comments from YouTube.
Oh my God.
Jones Stoimpre, I hope I got that correct. You're our first commenter for the year 2026. I think he deserves a round of applause.
Woo, history has been made.
History has been made. And this one's comment says, this one called Magnus lacks character. Stomach
wow.
infrastructure.
It's stomach structure.
That's rude.
It just reminded me, I mean, we all know who stomach infrastructure, when we hear that, who we're referring to. But these are the thoughts. I mean, there might be a subtle message, but I see the spirit behind what he's saying. Like yesterday, last year, when we're speaking about the issues in Rivers State, I did say one thing. There are certain people, if you want to come to a fight with them, you better fight to the win or fight to the death. You fight to win or fight to the death. You can't go halfway. And Wike is one of those people. He understands the game of politics. He is courageous, bullish in a sense, ready to do the things that lily-livered people cannot do. So if you're not ready to fight with that level of doggedness, confidence, courage, then don't fight Wike.
Then in all these fights and all these alliances and all this politicking, I keep asking one question: where are the people of River State and all of that?
That's it.
And they should be the number one and the most important deciding factor. Because all these fights, are you fighting that, oh no, we don't have enough pipe-borne waters, I need to fight my enemy in order to provide pipe-borne waters, we need to build record number of schools, look at what the Akwa Ibomites are doing, you know, that type of positive competition. No, it's about, you know, primitive accumulation of wealth, influence, control, blackmail, and it's really, really sad. We need to not, we shouldn't even encourage all this, because it's almost like a movie, a Nollywood drama. We should draw them back to their primary assignments, which is governance and providing for the people, because the people are the most important.
The problem is, how do we draw them back into governance?
By discussing governance and telling them, like there was one of these advocacy groups released
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Also released a project done by the Senate President, and they flagged it overinflated.
Yeah,
I think it was
how many millions?
Yeah, 350 million.
350 million.
50 million could have done the project.
Yeah.
So things like that should be what should be driving conversations in the media discourse and not personal fights.
So Binga, I mean, I just want to ask.
I know it's news, but
yeah, I also want to ask.
Let's talk about the things that matter.
Maybe, do you also think that the media can be held complicit, especially looking at the fact that, I mean, these are conversations that whether we like it or not, we must talk about them.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I'm also thinking that now that 2026 has started, we might want to also create an avenue to drive conversations focusing on governance.
We should be deliberate about
yes,
it.
We should.
Well, you know, the funny thing,
easily be
however, I'm coming.
by politicians.
I'm coming as
and
well. I'm coming.
Shenanigans.
Yes, I'm heading somewhere. And the reason is because everyone watching us now should also realize that this is 2026, and maybe we can also start as the media, which of course the fourth realm, ask questions such as, which is what I want to ask. 2026 is the biggest year for Nigerian politics, not 2027. Take note. Are you still going to go for sausage and 2-5 and satin, yard and t-shirt? Just last week, someone shared Ijebu Gari. I don't know if you saw that. With the face of the president.
I think one more thing,
and so on.
Joe and Olive, I want to stress is you don't have to wait for election season to start governance and accountability.
You should
now.
actually
now
not
that they've
wait.
implemented tax law. Okay, you want to spend our money, you will be accountable for every naira you spend. You know, you need to keep them honest. You need to keep them on the toes. They need to be accountable. They need to be transparent. They need to show workings for what they've done in the past. Full subsidy removal.
We don't know how much was.
You know, we keep moving on. and they say, you know, Nigerians are very dogged people, we persevere. That's a negative trait. You need to hold people accountable so that you have systems that work for generations. We're very short-sighted.
I think we can introduce something new if we agree, I mean, amongst ourselves on this show, that I think we should start setting up reminders, having reminders daily on the program, telling Nigerians, remember to ask the right questions and so on and so on. Possibly sensitization, content and production would also be of
Joe, whether we like it or not, and I agree with both of you in that we should be deliberate about the conversations. I think we are. At least here on News Central, we are deliberate. But this is a social media era. If you don't carry it, somebody else will carry it.
No, we understand.
And these news will still go viral.
Yeah.
You know, and the audience, the consumers are feeding on it. They criticize it, but they find it very entertaining. So there's a huge demand on that kind of. They go there just to abuse them. They would insult them, they would abuse them, but they will watch it. So I don't know how we're going to do it, because we are also our attention span is very short.
In Nigeria,
we're very easily distracted. Yes.
I mean, nobody's talking about the CNG anymore. 2026.
We move on from one issue to another.
I've not seen the CNG issue.
And the lack of multiple stations, because the only one CNG station we have around here, there's always a huge queue
somewhere.
And these are people that are trying to buy into the government's initiative, you know, make pollute the environment less. And then you have such a long queue, get cheaper.
They are regretting now.
Yes.
I met someone picked me up and he said his brother is regretting having converted his car to a CNG, that they've had challenges in getting the gas, and sometimes the price, nobody's talking about it, the prices are inflated like times 2.
Almost like time.
And there's nobody they can report to. They've tried their best. As we start January 1, 2026, I think, Benga, there are a few questions we need to ask, and it's good to ask the government. Where are the CNG buses? Can't find them. I don't know if you can find them in your area. I've not seen the CNG buses. Where are the fueling stations that were supposed to have the CNG, stations as well that can take your
I remember they sent influencers to India. They were so happy.
Two-Face was there. Who else? I mean,
they've abandoned everybody that's converted now.
They were going everywhere preaching the message of conversion, but
the same way they are preaching the message of taxation.
Even the presidency.
But taxation is people's hard end.
Even the presidency.
And they will have to show working for the
Even
taxation.
the presidency, I dare the SSA that will join us to tell us that the presidency, all their cars are CNG.
Of course not. Anyway, let's move over from there. Still talking about politics and the political alliances. Former Kano State Governor and NNPP leader Rabiu Kwankwaso has made headlines again. And yesterday he did make headlines after declaring that nobody has left us and succeeded. He made the remark while addressing supporters during the turnout of ADC members joining the NNPP. So while we're seeing certain bigwigs moving to the ADC and the APC, we're seeing the ADC members moving to the NNPPs, an exchange. He stressed that the party remains intact and is growing stronger despite recent political defectors. Kwankwaso told the crowd that politics rewards loyalty and consistency, not constant cross-carpeting, and argued that those who walked away only proved the strength of the structure that they left behind. He added that new members are coming in daily and that the movement is focused on the future, not on those who have exited. His comments have drawn mixed reactions across the political space, but his message was clear. In his view, those who stay with the NNPP are the ones positioned to succeed. Let's take a look.
Beyond what I was of course, I'm aware that few, very few of you have decided to cross the line, to go to the other side. Don't worry. Don't worry. But if you know them, advise them. Nobody in this country or elsewhere has ever succeeded with footage. But it doesn't work that way. And if you are in doubt, look at our history. Even those small from 1999 to date, all those who betrayed this group, like all other groups, like all other individuals, they have never succeeded. I don't even know why. They will succeed temporarily. Day 1, day 2, day 3, year 1, year 2. Some in this state were looking like they are succeeding for 10 years. If you ask them, where are you now? They are on the floor, flat.
Very interesting conversation there in that gathering. Well, just to let you know that there is... No, it doesn't. So the thing is, the northern politicians don't believe in the live band. It's actually the southern politicians, south, of course. You see Wike has that, Fubara maybe following his leader. But NNPP is trained, and that's because the Kano State governor, okay, is moving to the APC.
Well, he hasn't officially declared.
He was
There's
supposed to announce.
of
Yes, he was supposed to announce. He's going to announce very soon. But what we hear is from the coffers of the NNPP. I mean, we've reached out to the media person, and he said that the NNPP is not in support of the governor of Kano State, Abba Yusuf, moving to the APC. Now, the Kwankwaso movement, which is very strong in Kano State as we speak, is equally starting to look like it's fragmented, where some members who used to believe in the Kwankwaso movement are starting to look back and say, well, if our governor goes to APC, well, there's nothing really bad if we just decide to follow through and just join him. So, hence why he made that statement that nobody has left the NNPP and has truly succeeded. But let's not forget that he was never born as a member of the NNPP. He also had left political parties before, the NNPP. And then all of a sudden he has this very strong cult following, which up until today, we must mention that in Kano State, he's a very, very strong, just as Wike is putting a stronghold in the South, you have the Kwankwaso movement strong in Kano State as well.
Turns out that there are people also in Kano State who are advocating, they're reaffirming their loyalty to Rabiu Kwankwaso and the Kwankwaso movement, and are pleading for him to lead them into the APC. They have said,
that's a fragmented issue.
Quote it. He said,
So
he said,
he's been pulled by different interests.
We have resolved to remain loyal to Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, and we appeal to him to lead us into the APC whenever he decides to make that move. This is from Abdullahi Rogo. They are political stakeholders in Rogo local government area of Kano State. And it is quite maybe not a surprise to see what's happening. Rabiu Kwankwaso is a force, but then again, this reminds us about what we often say here, that there is a game of politics, and politicians will always play that game. Just like one of our YouTube comments said, this one is from Melvin Orianwu. He says, no permanent friends or enemies, only permanent interests. That's what it is. It's really no permanent friends or enemies. People would always go where their
that's the mantra in politics.
Align, exactly. Today they are enemies, tomorrow they are best friends, so long as their interests align. And that's what.
Let's see what wise Nigerians are saying.
But maybe we should start with the statement from the press statement
APC.
from APC Kano State.
In Kano.
And then we'll go to what Nigerians are saying. So the APC Kano State has spoken, and this is what the APC in Kano State says. The APC in Kano State has reiterated its readiness to welcome Governor Abba Yusuf into the party ahead of his planned defection from the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. The Kano State chairman of the APC, Prince Abdullahi Abbas, stated this while reacting to recent political developments, describing the anticipated move as guided by unity, reconciliation, and the collective interest of Kano States. Speaking on behalf of the party's national leader, former chairman and immediate past governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, Abbas stressed that the call for Governor Yusuf to join the APC is not rooted in political rivalry, but in a sincere desire to build a more united and prosperous Kano State. In other words, to connect to the center, or to be aligned with the center. They say it's about unity, reconciliation, and moving Kano State forward, and that the APC is ready to receive him. So there you have it. Maybe we should ask our viewers in Kano State what their thoughts are, and if they are open to the NNPP, especially supporters of the NNPP, party loyalists in Kano State, if they think that this will be a great move that they will be aligning themselves with. Anyway, let's now move on to what Nigerians are saying.
Carlo Gambino says Kwankwaso is playing games. Abba is going to APC as an advanced team. Kwankwaso is not interested in getting APC out of power. So he's not really sure. He's neither here nor there. Victor Omer says, this guy visited Tinubu the other day and was shining teeth with him. It's all a game plan. Never trust him, he says. Jinze IT says, I feel it's all staged, all planned. The best way to deal with the APC is from the inside. They will infiltrate APC, give master strategists hope, then make him hopeless.
That's, I keep saying that would be the biggest twist too.
I mean, we've seen the APC use it for other parties, so if it's being used on them, it's all, they say it's all fair and square in war. Adeni Andero says, Kwankwaso is really pained. He needs to check himself politically. Ganduje, your ally, a deputy, but abandoned you the same way Yusuf is now. President Tinubu loves you, calls you his friend, you misbehave, and all this shows you're not a good politician and perhaps selfish. Says Adeni. Paris says, you guys have too many Tinubu moles in your party. Ahmad Dev. So one thing I can see from this tweet is that everyone thinks it's a script. Ahmad says, it's a script. Here's how it is. Abba is the advanced party. Kwankwaso doesn't want to go softly. So to save face, he will wait till dying minute before he decamps to APC. Kwankwaso is a proud person, so he'll make it seem like APC are begging him to decamp. Okay. Angle.
Benga, if this happens, that means this script is a movie-like one that Zebejiro, or the likes should have held and produced ahead of time. But
it's easy to read and project the future with what we're seeing and the body language. So maybe they're not far from true, but time will tell. Time will tell.
Maybe. Well, anyway, tell us what you think as well. We're streaming live on all socials. We're looking forward to wrap up Wake Up Conversations and move to our major stories. But before we do... I
want to take one more comment from you too. But this was regarding Wike and Magnus. And Melvin Orion, first of all, thank you for the compliment. He says, Happy New Year to you guys. Your combination rocks. Thank you so much, Melvin. He says, I remember when Magnus was crying here and there and Wike dealt with him. It's okay. No permanent friends, no permanent foe, but permanent interest. Or Diego, my brother, he really Diego. But just to also mention that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has officially released the New Year presidential speech, the 2026 speech, and he spoke to a number of things. He talked about a call to unity and responsibility. He did speak about inclusive growth and social development, basically highlighting the things that we have achieved as a nation. And then he spoke about security and national stability. Maybe I should read some excerpts from that, because I know that Nigerians are generally, right now, we're in a situation where we're so particular about the state of insecurity. He says, in 2026, our security, I'll start with, in collaboration with international partners, including the United States, decisive actions were taken against terrorist targets in parts of the Northwest on December 24th. Our armed forces have since sustained operations against terror networks and criminal strongholds across the Northwest and Northeast. In 2026, our security and intelligence agencies will deepen cooperation with regional and global partners to eliminate all threats to national security. We remain committed to protecting lives, property, and the territorial integrity of our country.
Where was the statement released from?
By SSA, SSA has released a statement.
I get where Benga coming from.
Where?
Where is he at the moment of releasing the statement?
And why are we not getting a national broadcast, as it's a tradition?
We're expecting the president to have addressed us, right? And video, maybe talk to Nigerians, give them hope, let them know that, listen, the tax reforms. He did release a statement on Tuesday that the tax reform laws must begin today. No going back. The Nigerians should just please embrace it. And today, again, we have a goodwill message for 2026.
But you expect the president to give a...
Yeah, I was expecting that.
But the president is on leave. They said he's going for end-of-year holiday. Are you going to work when you're on leave? Even the broadcast, you'll be working. I'm
hoping that in the new year we hear more from him directly as opposed to hearing from his representatives.
Or statements.
Yes, it actually gives a sense of comfort to hear, because sometimes text can be misinterpreted, but you can't you hardly be able to misinterpret hearing directly. Then you can read body language. You can see the empathy as opposed to reading text. But we'll get away from that. Final comments I'll take on YouTube for now, but there are more comments. Keep your comments coming. This is someone speaking regarding alignment, and he doesn't understand what kind of alignment. This is basically me saying that Kano State is aligning itself with the center. He said alignment indeed. How many development have we seen in Kogi?
All the states
Edo
are
and
aligned.
Ekiti since the alignment. Well, only Nigerians can decide. Let's bring you our headlines today. Our very first show here for 2026 on Breakfast Central. Nigeria rolls out controversial tax law today, officially kicks in. No turning back, they say.
Which version?
The gazetted one. Peter Obi dumps Labour Party and joins the ADC. Peter Obi's exit is a blessing, brings liberation to Labour Party, Abure faction says. Governor Fubara picks up fresh endorsement for second term from Eneka clan ahead of 2027 election. And the newspaper front pages will be reviewed on the show this morning. Join us for all these and for more.
Thanks for staying with us here on Breakfast Central. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has received a fresh endorsement for a second term from the Eneka clan in Abia local government area of the state. The endorsement was announced during the 2025 Eneka Day celebration themed Unity, Our Strength for Progress, which brought together traditional rulers, political leaders, and residents from the clan's 11 communities. News Central's Biola Festus reports.
The Eneka people, who are of the Ikwere ethnic nationality, marked the day as part of efforts to preserve their cultural heritage and identity. Political leaders from the area used the occasion to state their support for Governor Siminalayi's administration. President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo Worldwide, Senator John Azuta Mbata, described Governor Fubara as the recognized political leader of Rivers State.
There is only one governor in Rivers State. Whether you like it or you don't like it or if you like, shout from now to tomorrow. Only how many governors?
Community leaders also called for increased infrastructure development and the elevation of traditional stools in Eneka.
Our decision to endorse, support your re-election shall significantly reflect in the ballot come 2027, and you shall emerge victorious to the glory of God.
Governor Siminalayi Fubara, who joined the community in the celebration, thanked the people for the endorsement and assured them that his administration would sustain its infrastructure drive across the state.
At the crossroad of our state, what is important for us is unity that will attract progress. I want to urge everyone, this very great plan, continue to be together. When you're together, you cannot be broken. There will be a lot of attempts to disorganize you, dismember your body, but ensure that you stand as one. Standing as one is when the government can listen to you because your voice will be very strong. Standing as one is when the government can say that coming here to support you will not cause them pain.
The governor further urged residents to sustain unity and peaceful coexistence, noting that stability remains critical for development and effective governance. In Rivers, for News Central, Biola Festus.
Very interesting story there. That's the current governor being prepared for the second term.
And being serenaded by Nyesom Wike.
A Port Harcourt boy for real.
Port Harcourt boy through and through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that also, can that be called an endorsement?
No. It's just
so you can perform, maybe just there for entertainment value.
Yes, it's just for entertainment. It's just like...
Nyesom Wike has many, many fans.
No, I don't think it's an endorsement. Entertainers should be allowed to be able to perform for whoever they choose. It's just people like the music and they can perform for 8 today and tomorrow decide to perform.
But there's a point we're missing in this entire story, and I want to bring it in front, to us. The FCT minister has come out to state clearly that he's going to be pushed to reveal to all of us and Nigerians the agreement that Fubara signed with the president and himself
during the state of emergency.
And that agreement is highlighted there that the current governor is to do only 1 term. So people are asking, Kuku released the whole agreement. Let's see.
I mean, hasn't he said it? Hasn't he inferred what the agreement is?
I mean, he said, so the bottom line is they're saying that Governor Siminalayi Fubara is to do only 1 term and leave. That's the agreement. However, I'm also seeing that in his body language. But I know he's a very, relaxed and calm person. But if you look at that report done by Biola Festus, I was trying to gauge his body language. The body language looks like one who, remember Benga, like we highlighted yesterday, he had said that, can't you look at me? I'm not even... So there's a lot happening. And that's why I said at the start of this show that we're going to see a lot of drama unfold concerning River State. He looks
more relaxed and happy these days, like somebody that has a joker up his sleeves. Governor Fubara, if you study his movements, even his use of the live band, shows a more confident and more confidence and commanding governor. So maybe he's gearing up for the battle ahead. That's if he decides to run for a second term, because I don't think the godfathers or the powers that be will make it easy for him.
Like, it's how we casually just say, oh, they won't make it, we assume that you can use agreements to strip someone of their constitutional right to run for office. Like, the Constitution says that there is no agreement or law that should be able to trump that, right? There's,
the Constitution,
you have a right,
that should trump the Constitution.
That should trump the Constitution, rather. There's a freedom to run for office if you want, if you're qualified. And I don't think any written agreement should be able to trump that. But let's move over to Abia State.
Even Terry that decided to run that year can still run. You can only run.
I knew.
Run.
This is a new year, Benga. Let's run to Abia State now, where the governor of Abia State, Alex Otti, has denied rumors that he plans to defect alongside former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi to the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Speaking during a December media chat at the Government House in Umuahia on Tuesday, Governor Otti said he has no intention of leaving the Labour Party for now, emphasis on for now, while highlighting key achievements of his administration in 2025. The governor disclosed that the performance report of the 2025 budget will be released in 2026. Governor Otti also commended the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, for his support to small and medium-scale enterprises and vulnerable groups across Abia State.
I joined the Labour Party before Peter Obi. Okay? So I didn't join Labour Party with him. And he has communicated me that he was leaving Labour Party. And I gave him my blessings. But I remained in Labour Party. And I told him that I will have to continue the struggle to rescue the Labour Party. That is the party that brought me to power. If we fight and get to the end, we can retrieve the Labour Party, then we can now discuss options. But for now, I am not defecting with him. We will see that he did that and distributed rice and some money to vulnerable people. I thank you for doing that. But then I've also taken the principled decision not to dignify all the comments he made with any response.
There you have it. He has said that he's not yet leaving. He's not leaving the Labour Party for now. Emphasis on for now.
What does for now mean?
For now, meaning that there's a potential of it happening in the nearest future, but it doesn't mean that it's happening yet.
But he has members within his cabinet who have left.
And everyone is free.
Left. They've moved to the ADC.
There's freedom of association. You can join any party you want to join.
Or maybe they are preparing the ground for him.
He hasn't gotten much support from the Labour Party. The Abure-led faction seem to think that he and Peter Obi have been the major causes of Labour Party's problems. Well, one of the major causes has left. Let's see how well the Labour Party can fare. They've oftentimes bragged about Labour Party existing pre-Peter Obi and how it will exist post-Peter Obi.
Does it mean with Peter Obi's departure, the obedient movement is also, and their structures?
Yes, he's urged the obedient movement. Yeah.
Okay, so the Labour Party will go back to what it used to be pre-2023.
So right now it feels like there's been an assumption that the Labour Party is such a strong force. When we all saw it happen in 2023, the Labour Party was the party we never saw.
The reason for the groundswell in the Labour Party was Peter Obi, and that person has left. So we'll leave Abure to an almost empty party.
But Abure is happy. Abure is saying that
the golden child has left.
Yeah, Abure is saying that finally he has left. They can now enjoy the party. As a matter of fact, the embattled Julius Abure-led Labour Party is celebrating that Mr. Peter Obi has left the party. Part of their celebration comes with the following statements that now that he has left, the party can now focus and, of course, do what they want to do.
Who will be the
remember Rabiu had joined us and said they had a woman. I don't know if you recall.
Oh, yes. That was the joker.
That they have a woman.
And I wonder, the Lamidia Papa faction has been very quiet these days.
They are plotting because they're going to come back. And when they come back, they come to like bang.
So all is not even well in the Labour Party.
It's not well in any political party. APC seems to be the only party that has their acts together.
No, Zen's Labour Party, they don't have any issues.
It seems so.
And Boots Party.
Boot. There are a lot of them, by the way, a lot. Anyway, let us know what your thoughts are concerning Mr. Peter Obi finally and officially joining the ADC and looking forward to ensure that he puts his foot there and continues to push for being the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But the questions still are, who is going to lead the ADC? The primaries will tell this year, 2026. However, let's also mention that there's going to be a lot of back and forth in terms of what Nigerians should expect, especially from the ADC. But today is the 1st of January 2026. As we begin the fresh start to this year, are you aware of the new charges? What charges, you may wonder or ask? Well, here is what you must know. From today, if you're transferring 10,000 naira to either Mommy Toby, Uncle Uche, or Mustafa, banks will start charging you, the sender, a 50 naira stamp duty on electronic transfers of 10,000 naira and above from following the implementation of the Tax Act. But if you are sending just maybe 9,999 naira, you know, like it's a Black Friday promo, and below, you won't have to pay 50 naira.
And this is called the Electronic Money Transfer Levy, EMTL, on transfers, which will now be referred to as stamp duty across all financial institutions. The sender now bears the stamp duty charge. Previously, this charge was deducted from the beneficiary receiver. However, salary payments and interest self-transfers are exempt from stamp duty.
Meanwhile, the controversial tax law begins in full swing today. Despite the pushback from various quarters, lawmakers are divided, opposition political parties, and a cross-section of Nigerians. However, on Tuesday, President Tinubu said the January 1st implementation date is sacrosanct, insisting that there is no substantial reason to suspend the implementation of the tax laws. Just to also mention that there's been an Abuja High Court that has cleared the way for the implementation of Nigeria's new tax law. There was a case that was brought before it seeking to halt the exercise, and the Abuja High Court. So when you look at it from judicial declarations, they're covered, and you look at it from the executive pronouncements, they're covered as well. The suit was filed by the Incorporated Trustees of African Initiative for Abuse of Public Trustees, which dragged the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the President, the Attorney General of the Federation, the President of the Senate, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and the National Assembly before the court over alleged discrepancies in the recently enacted tax laws. And in an ex parte motion, the plaintiff sought an interim injunction restraining the government, FIRS, the National Assembly, and related agencies from implementing or enforcing the provisions of this act. The court ruled that the plaintiffs did not demonstrate how the implementation of the new tax laws would occasion irreparable harm or violate any provision of the Constitution, stressing that matters of fiscal policy and economic reforms fall squarely within the powers of the government. And Justice Kawu further held that once a law has been duly enacted and gazetted, any alleged errors or controversies can only be addressed through legislative amendment or a substantive court order, noting that disagreement over tax laws cannot stop the implementation of an existing law. So we would say that the onus now lies on the Senate to do what they need to do. The lawmakers need to ensure that the proper investigation is carried out regarding the discrepancies with the tax law and correct that with legislative instruments, since the court has said that the responsibility lies on their shoulders.
The tax law in full swing. We're going to find out what Nigerians are saying in between, and let's know what it's like, because today, January 1st, I was expecting to get mails from my bank. I haven't gotten them. I don't know if you guys got any mails from your bank stating the tax law is in full swing, it's in full effect. The president has spoken, like we mentioned as well, on Tuesday, saying that there's no going back. There are a lot of fears, but generally one would wonder that when you have a lot of discrepancies and mixed reactions and feelings towards this certain tax law. By the way, yesterday also, another governor had spoken about the tax law too. He did come out to say no, that it must be stopped, that they will resist it. The few persons in the northern region will also come out to say, listen, we're not going to accept this. And I'm talking about Governor Bala Mohammed. Governor Bala Mohammed has spoken. He said that the tax laws and the arraignment of they arraigned actually his commissioner for finance by the EFCC. This was done just recently over an alleged $9.7 million terrorism financing charge. And he is not happy with that. He said, I woke up to an accusation that I'm being accused of terrorism. My commissioner of finance is being held by the EFCC, and my name is being mentioned in the suit, even though I have immunity. They have not done 1 kilometer of road in Bauchi. They've not provided water, even the security agencies. I'm the one paying them to work for us, and they have the guts to talk. I have kept quiet for too long. I'm not a coward. The federal government should look at its tax system. In spite of all the impunities, they are still going ahead with it to impoverish the common man and the subnationals, which are states, and we are keeping quiet. Well, these are statements allegedly said to be made by Governor Bala Mohammed. There are many other. The former Vice President, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has also spoken. He put out a statement.
And the reason, the main reason why there's pushback against, no one is saying they won't pay their taxes. The reason why there's pushback is if you want to take people's money, you also need to be responsible and accountable and transparent about it. Honorable Abdulsamad Dasuki raised a very important point on the floor of the House of Representatives, talking about how the gazetted law is different from what they deliberated on in the Parliament, and it led to a lot of hue and cry. Somebody somewhere admitted that, okay, there was a mistake, and they said it was re-gazetted under the shroud of secrecy. Okay, let's see what was re-gazetted. Why are you hiding it? It wasn't made public, and you just wake up one day and say, okay, today's implementation day, let's get on with it. Things don't work that way. If you want people to trust you, you need to be transparent. You also need to show that you have nothing to hide and assuage their fears by being open, honest, and transparent. Because right now, a lot of Nigerians don't even know which version they're going to be working with and what was regazetted. So there's still clouds hanging over the new tax law. And if you want 100% compliance, you also have to be 100% transparent and honest with Nigerians. That's the barest minimum that is expected when you're taking people's hard-earned sweats and money. All right.
But you can let us know what you think about this, the implementation of the tax laws which commenced today. We're streaming live on YouTube via News Central. And as we go on the break, I want to take this kind compliment from Ikechukwu Victory, who says, "Happy New Year, my good people at News Central TV. To all the crew members we can't see who are making sure the programs air every day. God bless all of you. This year will be kind to us all. God is the greatest. Amen." Ikechukwu Victory, thank you. Now head to YouTube and share your thoughts on any of the stories. We'll be looking at Peter Obi dumping the Labour Party and joining ADC as one of our biggest stories. Let's share with you what's coming up next. And this came maybe as a shock to some, but others had been waiting for the official announcement of the defection. Abure faction celebrates Obi's defection, not surprising as well. NDDC proposes 1.75 trillion naira budget for 2026. Stay with us. And now we go to the conversation that has taken the country by storm in the past 24 hours, or do I say since last year. Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, His Excellency Peter Obi, has officially declared for the African Democratic Congress, ADC, alongside a host of Southeast political heavyweights, including Senators Victor May, Naya Baribe, and former Deputy Speaker Emeka Ihedioha. And then the move announced in Enugu was tagged a rescue mission to challenge the ruling APC ahead of 2027. But the Labour Party isn't having it. In a swift response, the party declared that it had long severed ties with Obi and his allies, even suspending some lawmakers for what it calls anti-party activities.
The Labour Party blamed Obi and Abia State Governor Alex Otti for earlier internal crisis, noting that the Enugu event was largely boycotted by prominent politicians and traditional institutions. The Labour Party also admitted fielding an unsuitable candidate in 2023, apologized to Nigerians, and pledged to work toward presenting a stronger prospect in the future. Well, this morning, let's dissect these challenges and also the issues. Joining us for this discussion, we do have the factional spokesperson of the Labour Party, of course, one whom we're still going to ask if he's still with the Labour Party this morning. Mr. Ife Salako joins us live in the studio. He's here with us. Thank you so much for being here. And then we also have the National Vice Chairman, Southwest Labour Party, Dr. Abayomi Arabambi, who joins us via video conferencing. I can see you're excited, Dr. Arabambi. I think your request has indeed come to happen, has turned out to be positive. Anyway, welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us.
And a very happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, so.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to start off with the conversation. First of all, I don't know where to go to.
I think we should start with
Let me start with Dr. Arababi. Dr. Arababi, congratulations. Because you've been on this show many times and you've talked about wanting Mr. Peter Obi to leave the party. He's left the party now. How does that feel?
Well, thank you very much. And once again, Happy New Year to you all there. Yeah, for us in Labour Party, we consider the movement yesterday as a good radiance, to bad rubbish. Because Obi, as far as we are concerned, is a serial betrayer, a nomadic politician, and a political cross-dresser. He is a repackaged fraud who is affected by what I will call a physiologia fantastica, that is an act of perfecting lies. In 2010, Peter Obi swore with Amadioha when the yesterday anchorman in the ADC, Harakiri, a senator, the former national chairman of Abga, they were together when he swore before Amadioha in 2010 that he would die in Abga. He will never leave Abga. From there, he jumped to PDP. When on Sunday, April 7, 2024, he said, I will never leave Labour Party. And yesterday, he has also jumped ship. These are some of the consistency we saw in Mr. Peter Obi that made us to part ways, with him a long time ago. Because he had this trait of, an attempt to hijack party structures. The very first person that ever referred to Peter Obi as a political terrorist is the senator, the same senator that represented Anambra Central, Victor Obi. When Obi wanted to remove him, when he was the governor, the man was the national chairman, he's there on your studio, he's there on channel, he's there on the right, when he referred to Obi as a political terrorist, that because he has money, he can be running, he can be calling shots, asking the national chairman to do this, to do that. When he couldn't accept that, he thought, we in our own rights history will now accept an ordinary presidential candidate to now be dictating to a national chairman of our party, which is Julius Abure. So you can see the inconsistencies. And that is why I said, as far as we are concerned, it's a good radar to bad rubbish. We have been able to escape from the hand of political strangulators, the political terrorists, which Obi represent. And we are glad that he has joined those who are poisoning the system and now coming with a prescription to heal Nigeria. We are happy. He has joined the leaders who failed and didn't want to retire, rather they are recycling themselves. So we wish them and my brother a farewell in ADC. Because as far as I'm concerned,
he has not said he's leaving yet.
Oh, he has not left yet.
We haven't officially.
He has also joined ADC yesterday. And my dear brother, I congratulate you. Welcome to ADC as you have departed from Labour Party.
I'd like to come to Ife in the studio. Mr. Dr. Arabambi said quite a few things. He said good riddance to bad rubbish. He called Peter Obi a nomadic politician. He called him a political fraud. And he also said he swore before Ahmadiyya. I thought Mr. Peter Obi was an adherent of the Catholic faith. I didn't know he started worshipping Ahmadiyya. That I wasn't going to live up. What do you make of all the things Mr. Arabambi said? And what's the driving factor behind Mr. Peter Obi leaving the Labour Party?
Well, good morning once again.
A party which contributed a lot. He got 6 million votes in the last election.
Yes.
That's no child's play.
At all. First of all, my Ebon Kwarababi is a man of of words, and he knows how to paint them very well. And but some of us we like to stick to facts and realities. I was just laughing when he was saying Peter Obi swore before Ahmadiyya. I'm almost sure that Peter Obi may not even know what Ahmadiyya looks like, or the shrine, if the shrine of Ahmadiyya ever existed at all. But let's come to reality. Parties are parties. People move from parties to parties. This is not a new thing in Nigeria. Egbo Arabambi himself, we knew when he came to the Labour Party, he wasn't there.
Where was he?
I mean, he's been in other parties before he came to, to the Labour Party. So nobody can say that and say,
not his statute.
Exactly. Yeah. We have politicians all over the world who move from one party to the other. So it is highly insignificant when you talk about somebody moving from one party to the other, and you say because of that then now defines, the person, and then you use colorful words to paint the person. It actually doesn't justify anything. But as it is, the reality is that Mr. Peter Obi is now in the ADC, and it is inevitable for him to move to the ADC. We've seen it. We all know about the crisis in the Labour Party, and it all centered about one person. A whole lot of times in this studio and in other places, in other platforms, I have been asked to speak about the leader of the party, in person of Barrister Julius Abure, and I have consistently restrain myself from saying anything about it. But for the first time, I think the reality needs to, it's staring at us, in the face. Barrister Julius Abure single-handedly, as a leader of the party, destroyed Labour Party.
Okay. That's a very
good place to
a very strong point. And we're going to expand on that a little further, but let's go on a break. When we come back, Breakfast Central continues, and we're looking at Peter Obi leaving the ADC, what the chances are for the Labour Party. And, Peter Obi leaving the Labour Party to the ADC, what the chances are for the Labour Party, as well as Alex Otti's role in all of this, because,
Happy New Year, Olive.
Arabambi seems to want him out of the picture as well. We'll be back after this.
Are you sure you're in 2026?
No, absolutely. Yeah. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still looking at the latest developments regarding His Excellency Peter Obi leaving the Labour Party and officially becoming a member of the ADC. Now, let's start with you. First of all, are you still with the Labour Party?
I mean, it's obvious that as at this morning, the first day of January 2026, I am a member of the ADC.
Right. Oh. So does that also apply to all Obedients who are members of the...
Literally, so obedience is for Peter Obi, and I have said that that group eventually will metamorphose into what we call the new Nigeria movement. But for now, we are very, very loyal. You use the word to the aspirations and ambitions of His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi. So of course the obedience will always see and look for the right candidates.
Wherever the principle goes, you follow.
Yes.
Now, before we went on that break, you were talking about the person of Julius Abure and issues in the Labour Party. Now you are free to speak.
Open everything.
Yes. So, I mean, basically,
all the skeletons.
There is no skeleton anywhere. We are all here in Nigeria. We saw what happened, The last time the Labour Party had any significant relevance politically in Nigeria was in 2007 and then maybe 2012 when the then Ondo State Governor Olusegun Mimiko, ran on the platform of the Labour Party and won the election, twice on the Labour Party. And since then, since 2012, Governor Mimiko had won on the platform of the Labour Party. All the people who are now saying that, I am a Labour Party, is the Labour Party, they couldn't do anything. There was no significant, progress that was made with the party, not until this man came into the party in 2022. And so we can see that party politics aside, we must also recognize the fact that there has been somebody that has given this platform, this party, the kind of leverage that it has not had in years. In fact, it has never, Labour Party in Nigeria has never had the kind of relevance that it had, that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi brought to the party. And then, while we're saying, let's now come together, let's rebuild the party, some people, in fact, in person of Barrister Julius Abure, we all know that this man's tenure as the chairman of the party has expired. It has elapsed. He needed to just leave the party and organize a proper congress that would lead to a convention. And then, if you were going to be re-elected, if the constitution allowed you to be re-elected, do the thing the right way. But here is what happened. In the advent of, the post-election period, and we're saying let everybody come together in the Labour Party, let us find a way to, harmonize the party, bring everyone together. Barrister Julius Abure's tenure that had already expired, the committee, the party came together at the time and said, let us give you 1 year in compensation for all the droughts, the years of droughts that you have had before Peter Obi came to the party. And this 1 year, take this 1 year and just, enjoy the moment. And then let's use that period to restructure the party. Since the day I joined the Labour Party, there had not been a proper congress. In fact, as at the time I was joining, they were saying that they're going to have a congress, they're going to come up with a congress. For over 3 years now, there's not been a congress. not one Congress that was held to say we are now bringing because after the time His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi joined the party had no proper structure across Nigeria. There was no structure. In my local government, there was no, in fact, the chairman of Labour Party in Nigeria, the person that was supposed to be the chairman of the people were using phones to pursue him that we want to do this, we want to do that. There was no structure in Lagos, there was no structure in any state. Mr. Peter Obi brought the structure into the party, and you are saying that one person can then decide, you know, whatever he wants, jumping from what. There has not been any chairman of a party in Nigeria that has had more court injunction than Barrister Julius Abure, all in the name of finding himself, restricting himself, forcing himself, even on the follower that does not want him. And it is clear now, he will go and be his chairman. Him and my boy, Arabambi, they will go and be the Labour Party that they want to be because everybody is leaving
so what is the picture of the Labour Party without Peter Obi? Let's ask you and then I'll bring in Mr. Abambi.
The Labour Party without Peter Obi will become what it was before now, a ghost house. That's what it is.
Mr. Abambi, you have a right of response.
Thank you very much. There was never a time the chairman, you know, was compensated with any 1 year. What happened properly was a NEC meeting. You see, most of Peter Obi supporters, they are not, you know, well in tune with our constitution. That the NEC has the power to extend the lifetime of, you know, the NWC. Just like APC did 3 times, PDP also did their own. What they did in Asaba was an extension of the NEC, of the NWC, which will be attended that time. Now, the tenure never expired because even Governor Alex Otti, who we also expect to throw in the towel very soon, was the chairman of that convention. You see, when you extended the tenure of a National Care Committee, you have the power to now carry on without, you know, before you do the convention. But they went to the convention, and I stand to be challenged. There was no pre-election matter against that convention. There was no litigation against that convention. That Governor Alex Otti, represented by his deputy governor, was the one that dissolved, you know, the NWC. And now they re-elect by Julius Abure for another period of 4 years in Anambra. So you see, for us now to not be speaking from both sides of the mouth, you know, sound comical to me, because Governor Alex Otti was the chairman of the convention. But let me tell you, because of their conquest mission, because of their intention to capture the soul of Labour Party, for what they told the national chairman of ADC that they want Igbo presidency, you can see all the people that went there yesterday were crop of Southeast leaders. This is what we oppose, that no, all of us are Nigerians. Whatever you want, you have to place on the table and try to struggle, you know, with others. Mr. Peter Obi, let me tell you, I'm being right today. We still leave ADC. Because with what he told them yesterday, monkey will not be walking and baboon will expect to eat. You say you want to run for president. You want an Igbo presidency. And you are telling David Mark, who we know where he belongs, somebody donated National Secretariat worth 2.something billion. Obi didn't do anything. You say you want to become president. I can assure you that at the end of the day, he's still going to jump ship into another party platform. You will mark it today that we discussed it first on your station in Nigeria and in the whole world that Obi will also still jump ship. So for all, we have a legitimate leadership in Labour Party, and that is led by Barrister Julius Abure. Now, is there Labour Party is going to be nothing without Peter Obi? Do not forget, Omar Agege, the former Deputy Senate President, was elected on the platform of Labour Party before he now moved. Obi came into Labour Party, it was because of the advent of NSAS. People who are not happy with the scandalous 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari, and they were also of the opinion that, oh, the man that brought him, which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also wanted to govern. They look at this, you know, the years of the locust years of Atiku and Obasanjo that imported darkness into Nigeria with $16 billion. That was why people now felt, oh, we have a new platform, which Obi came, to galvanize. He only came to reap, from that. And that was why you know that Labour Party and Obi were two different entities. We have so many obstacle elections. What did Obi score with all his campaign in Ondo governorship election? Even obstacle election in the Senate, the one he supported ADC, where he claimed he's playing in Championship League, and other people are playing the Nigerian League. No, the question remains, party will have a structure, and I can assure you that Labour Party would defeat ADC. Whether Obi run as vice president to Atiku, they will not beat up because our ideological differences are clear. ADC consists of people, like I said, who are poisoning our system before, and they are now coming with a prescription. It consisted of people who have failed but didn't want to retire, rather they are recycling themselves. They won't be the person who will now come to be telling us that, oh, we have something to do for Nigeria. Is it David Magu said telephone is not meant for the poor, that want, Nigeria now to trust him? We have others of them like that in the history, but we wish them well. We wish them well in 2027. But we know they are not a match for us because Nigeria now know better. That our political differences will turn off again to a victory in 2027.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Arabambi. I'd like to come to Ife in the studio, Ife Sanako. A lot of people interpreted your principle, Mr. Peter Obi's move to the ADC, as a wrong move, and they expressed disappointment. They say he's joining a party with strange bedfellows, with people who obedience have openly criticized in the past years, who has been part and parcel of the APC administration, former ministers and officials, people that are responsible for the rot that Nigeria is in. That why would he make such a move? And by association, he's also part of the system because they thought it was cut from a different cloth. It was a different politician. How do you respond to that? In the quest to become president of Nigeria, they say he's been desperate by joining an association of strange bedfellows and people responsible for the destruction of Nigeria as it is.
The fact that it is obvious that the Labour Party cannot solely win the presidential election is what everybody knows. And in the course of the coalition, I did say that everybody in that coalition, only two people matters. And it is His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi and His Excellency Abubakar Atiku. The two of them are they are the two major players of the coalition. So every other person in the coalition. So if you say Peter Obi is joining forces with them, if these people goes to the polling unit to vote for him, will Peter Obi tell them not to vote for him? He needs their votes. He needs their support. Right? So if this is what is going to help us to set Nigeria on the right path, Peter Obi will always put his personal interest aside. And that is what we know. We know him and we are close to him. We know that when it comes to the issue of Nigeria and how we can save this nation, Peter Obi will put Nigeria first before his personal interest. And that is what has played out. And that is what has led him to this same ADC that we are talking about. And for all its worth, we saw the 2023 election. Himself and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, if they had worked together in 2023, we wouldn't have had this. We wouldn't have had this, apology of the government that we have today. People wouldn't have been in this kind of suffering that we're facing in Nigeria today. But we wouldn't have seen insecurity.
Are we not heading towards repeating the same thing? Because both of them are equally qualified to run for president, and I believe that's why they're in the ADC. So who will yield for who, and what's the guarantee?
So you see, you're
not going to go and split votes.
The question about people yielding in Nigeria now is becoming. It is an abnormal thing that we are almost making a norm. All I expected was for His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi to declare for ADC and go and slug it out, at the primaries. Whoever won on the platform becomes the flag bearer of the party.
And if he doesn't win,
he is not going anywhere. So this
but Mr. Arabambi says he's ready to have a bet that is going to jump ship again.
I mean, the reality of the on ground is clear. he had made his consultation. He knows why he's going into this thing, and he's seeing it clear. If he doesn't get the tickets, we are all here. We are all in ADC. I mean, we made it clear even to himself that, Oga, if we go to this place, we will not move again. And we have that agreement, click agreement. You know,
so you're saying if he goes to the ADC that doesn't clinch the primary ticket, he will still stay with the ADC regardless.
Very much Muslim.
There are also rumors that he's going to be the forerunner, and we do hear, I don't know how true it is, that the former vice president is pushing him to actually be the presidential candidate rather than himself.
Well, I mean, so these are rumors,
yes,
and I don't dwell on rumors. I like to be very practical and realistic, right? What has happened right now is that Mr. Peter Obi has joined the African Democratic Congress, and that is where we belong to. There's going to be primaries. When the party decides that they are not going to have a primaries, they are going to have a consensus candidate, we will all be here to see it. When the party decides that it's going to be primary, we will all be here to see it. But I'm not going to preempt what is not. Right now, what is most important to us is that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is a member of the African Democratic Congress, and that is where we belong. And we are all going to go into the party, be part of the party, give our best to the party, and make sure that we win the presidential election in 2027.
All right, let's bring in Mr. Abambi as well to continue the conversation. Your grouse in the Labour Party isn't just with Peter Obi, it's also been with Governor Alex Otti. What are your issues with him, and what is your expectation if he refuses? I mean, he has said that he's still in the Labour Party for now. And if he chooses not to leave the Labour Party, what do you think that implies?
You see, they are both, working hand in hand together. And let me make something extremely very clear here. Governor Otti must know that it is impossible for Lucifer to prepare dinner and ask our Lord Jesus Christ and disciple to come and take part in the supper. It is.
So who is the Lucifer here now? Who is the Lord here?
You see, Alex Otti cannot pretend that we don't know what he's trying to do. This was a man who has been junketing the entire Abia State judiciary, looking for injunction to restrain the national leadership, forgetting that the Supreme Court has made it very clear that the issue of leadership is not justiciable. It's the one that has been bankrolling, the Nenadi. But today you see that his own faction has dissolved the Nenadi faction. They are now bringing in some other people, from the NLC, to run the affair of their own, the people that will call, they just gather to celebrate Yam Festival. So Governor Alex Otti will also, if he doesn't go, we will expel him. Because we knew his mission. He is on a conquest mission. He wants to capture Labour Party because it was just, something that we regretted. Alex Otti, for over 12 years, has been rejected by PDP, the AC, and then they didn't give him their governorship ticket. It was because they saw something we didn't see, honestly. But when we tried to give him that ticket, like I said, he was in transport. He knelt down to beg Justice Abure to pick that ticket. Because there are some other people that wanted, that ticket, even with what money. But what did Alex Otti did? He only paid how much for all the senatorial tickets, or assembly tickets, the rep, and even the governor and deputy. He paid 50 million. But it is the man today that is spending billions of naira. He first of all removed our state chairman, the chairman that produced him. He removed him and put Siminalayi Otti, his brother, there. Is that the way to run an administration? A governor that failed to move into government house, he was running government from his own house. But all they wanted was that let us capture Labour Party, make it an Igbo party, which we resisted and will continue to resist it. If Alex Otti didn't go, the party will expel him. Because he can't pick our ticket. He was under suspension, and our next meeting, he will be expelled. We don't want him. Let him also pack the baggages, because as far as we are concerned, we belong to the group of our Lord Jesus Christ, and Lucifer cannot prepare dinner and ask us to come.
Okay, Dr. Ababi, if I may come in here, using football analogy, and looking at the recent history of Labour Party, Looking at Alex Otti, many people would say he's one of the best performing governors in Nigeria. And also looking at the track record of Mr. Peter Obi in terms of what he brought to the Labour Party. There are people in Parliament today, just by association with Peter Obi and the Labour Party, that got elected into office without people knowing anything about them. That shows the power of the movement. 6 million votes is not a joke. Now, back to the football analogy I was talking about. It's like a team getting rid of, you have a Messi and a Ronaldo on your team and you're excited to get rid of them without having reserve players of that sort of quality. What is the Labour Party's plan for 2027 now that you've lost Mr. Peter Obi to the ADC? How do you plan to replace those 6 million votes? And who do you have as a joker? I remember you on this program, you spoke to Joe and I, and you mentioned that there was a woman that was in the works. You didn't want to reveal her name. Is that still part of your plans for 2027?
Yes, you see, like the football analogy, where you can have two best strikers receiving record, there will always be a backup, on the bench. We have a very good backup.
Okay.
For these people, in any team like that, whether Chelsea, Arsenal, you always have a very good backup on the bench. So in case maybe your defender, your goalkeeper, receive record. So we don't have any problem with that. Like I said, we have a woman of international repute. Like I said, we have a reason why we don't want to mention her name, because she will be kidnapped. And we don't want her to be kidnapped. We have men of timber and caliber also who have, approached the party. As we speak, other than that woman, we have 2 other people from the south, 1 from the southeast, and 3 people from the north that are now in discussion, even with the national leadership. So we are not perturbed at all, as far as we are concerned. But what we are saying is that Obi has given a separate card, even though we are giving him 2 yellow. He quickly converted it to red card. So we were Labour Party dumped Peter Obi, not that Peter Obi dumped Labour Party. No, we dumped him. He didn't dump Labour Party. Now, Governor Alex Otti has also received 2 yellow cards. And you know what that means. Once you have 2 yellow cards, the referee will have to dip his hand to the pocket, and show that player, a straight record. So Alex Otti is an injured player in Labour Party now. He should just prepare his bag and packages to exit Labour Party, else he will be expelled.
So in other words, anyway, let's go back to the studio. I mean, you've heard what he said. Your reaction to that as well.
So first of all, it's the audacity. To think that you would get rid of a presidential candidate that brought the party, from its obscure nature to and turn it to a national party that was accepted across the country. It is absurd that you are happy that such a person is leaving your party. It is even worse that right now, without being partial, I personally sit out there, I listen to people, I see comments, I see messages. Alex Otti is literally, like, if not the best, one of the best performing governors in Nigeria right now. And he is saying that, I don't even want to leave this your party. I would say I am bothered that Alex Otti did not, openly declare, to support, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi and move to the ADC. I am perturbed because I want a performing person on our team. But it is amazing that you can see the mindset of the people or the leadership of the Labour Party. It is never about Nigeria. It is never about making the country better or making the life of the people better. It is strictly about the personal interest of the leadership of the party. And that's what has dragged the party to its present level that it is. Look at what Mr. Dr. Abambi said, right now. The neck had the right to extend Barrister Abure's tenure, which nobody has an issue with that. But this same neck said to you that, Oga, after this 1 year, you are done. Before the 1 year elapsed, you ran to go and conduct a backyard mushroom convention to make yourself a convention. Did that convention, is it how it's meant to be? Does that convention have people from all the local governments in the country? Does it have people from the wards? Does it have everybody properly represented from the states, party people? Not just your friends and colleagues, gather them together in one hall? Is that how a national party organize a convention and force your way back into the party, jumping from one court to the other to get a court injunction today or tomorrow, just because you want to retain yourself as the leader of the party and because you are extremely selfish? So if that's the mindset that they want to use in running party, and they think that that's the kind of mindset they want to use in getting power and of course remaining there, let them remain there. We that we want Nigeria to move forward, we that we know what we want, we that will stay on integrity and truth, we know where we are, and right now we are in ADC.
Thank you very much for stating your position, Ife, and we don't want to drag you back into Labour Party matters, because like they say, all things are passed away. Thank you, my brother. Today is the first day of a new year. So let's talk about the ADC and the chances of your principal. Yes. The ADC currently has political heavyweights. You did mention earlier that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is the one you see as the main contender that will be battling with your principal, Mr. Peter Obi. But you also have people like Malam Nasir El-Rufai, who feels he can also vie for the highest office in the land, Rotimi Amechi and other players. So what strategy would the obedient movement be using, knowing that money plays a huge part in Nigerian politics, and it's on record that they said that Peter Obi doesn't give shishi? How do you go against that the war chest of the other gladiators to ensure that he clinches he becomes the presidential flag bearer of the ADC this year?
Well, I mean, the obedience are already moving, as I said, into the ADC to be part of the structure from the ward level to the local government and of course to the state, and we are going to be very much present, and be involved in the process that would, bring about the flag bearer of the party. But what is very sacrosanct is that we are going to work with the obedient members that are going into the ADC. We are going to work assiduously to make sure that the process. You see, one thing that we follow our principle for. Is process. Just do this thing right. We may not even eventually get the thing, but at least let the process be clean, let it be fair, let it be just. And that is all we are asking for from the ADC. So the obedient movement are going into that structure to say, right, we are going to be, the gatekeepers of integrity in this party and make sure that things are done properly. And I can assure you, look at what has happened now. If you are talking about the chances of who is going to get the ticket at the end of the day, see what has happened. When His Excellency Atiku Abubakar joined the ADC, how many senators declared and followed him? How many House of Reps declared and followed him? None. It was just himself and a bunch of people just hailing and all. That was it. That was all we saw. When His Excellency Rotimi Amechi joined the ADC, how many significant people really went with him? None. When Malam El-Rufai joined the ADC, there was no. But see what has happened yesterday. All the present House of Rep members and senators have followed Peter Obi to ADC. All of them. All of them. So what are you now saying? Who has a better chance when somebody is coming into a coalition with this army of ex-governors, ex-senators, present senators, ex-House of Rep, present House of Rep members, and co. You can see that there is a whole lot of chances for him. Money will play his part. We know already. But from 2022 to 2023, we can see how money began to fail in the Nigerian politics. That was where it started from. Because there was a whole lot of money out there, even when our principal won this present state, the Lagos state election. In Nigeria here, money came to play. So and as a matter of fact, and this is even internal talk that we had, I personally did talk about this money thing. And we're saying that we are ready. There's going to be money, but we are going to make sure that we prove to these people that politics can be done differently. Not everybody can be bought, apparently.
Dr. Rabiu, I would like your response to this question. I mean, you've downplayed the presence of Mr. Gregory Peter Obi in the 2023 elections. You make it look like it didn't matter, even if he wasn't there. You believe the Labour Party would have been there. Who were the other options for you in 2023? That's question number 2003. 2023. I beg your pardon. Yeah. And then my second question to you is very critical. Currently, you did mention now that Mr. Peter Obi has left. It's now a good thing for the Labour Party. But there are also insinuations that it seems that the Labour Party itself has had its powers truncated, especially looking at the fact that the embattled chairman Abure is hobnobbing, with the FCT minister, and then you have issues within the party. How can you clarify that?
Well, thank you very much. As far as we are concerned, we are in a good state for 2027. Peter Obi was not the only presidential candidate, aspirant we have in 2022. We have Abure Joseph, who paid the same amount of money with Peter Obi. If you could do a playback, Peter Obi never in any election contested any primary. He was the one that made us to wait for over 6 hours on that day, asking that young nurse from US should step down, other than, the other professor and one other woman. But we have a good chance of winning that primary with that nurse because we have done our own work. But when Obi came, the national chairman called me personally and said, we have to ask that young man to step down. It took me over 4 hours to speak to that man. It was when that guy climbed the podium, mounted the podium, he announces his withdrawal. That was when we now affirmed Peter Obi. So it was not our option. He just came into the back door. So 3 days to today, we were not aware. Some of us were not aware. We have told the entire Taxi state with that guy, Abure Joseph. Peter Obi, no, just go and do playback. You will see how the entire, all roar when the guy stepped down. I was standing behind him when he was reading his speech. That, he has not agreed to step down, just because, the leaders of the party compelled him to do so. Now, as far as we are concerned, he raised the issue of, money. I know that Labour Party, we are prepared. But in 2023, Labour Party was not rigged. It was Peter Obi that rigged Labour Party out of that election, out of that presidential election. And I'm going to give you 2 instances. Now, a presidential candidate that manufactured Comrade Alaja, that will refer to Aisha Yusufu, to be uploading names of agents when she knew practically nothing about that. Aisha Yusufu said with her collaborators, they failed to upload 53,000 polling unit agents because they were not conversant with the Electoral Act. Out of 199, Labour Party, Peter Obi, Aisha Yusufu, Obazie, all of them, they didn't upload 53,000 polling unit agents, and that cost us that election because they were just there to make money. And that was why Aisha Yusufu was our de facto national chairman, who was signing our money for that election, which is very, very wrong, as far as we are concerned.
Just before we wrap up, would you like to respond to that and your final words on this conversation?
Well, I'm privy to the fact that, just like I mentioned, you know, building towards the 2023, the Labour Party had no proper structure across the state. You know, they are, even the ones that are existing, they were being, you know, almost being forced to come out and take charge. And that is why you will see that even in Lagos State, in a very short time, there were like 3 different chairmen, you know, in a very short time of the party, because when the 51 came, there was, what I'm saying is that there was a whole lot of chaos, you know, in the Labour Party structure at the time. And, you know, the people who came, who stood, who were ready to do the work, they were the ones that were out there. And that Aisha Yusufu does not know about the electoral law. That does not, it has nothing to do with not being able to upload, you know. That's a simple arrangement now. It's something that an 18, 20-year-old boy would do. Just give them the template. That has nothing to do with the Electoral Act. What happened was that there were not enough time to get the names uploaded. And, you know, the Labour Party was almost being, because, I mean, immediately Peter Obi joined the party, the leader of the opposition, they took it upon themselves to disrupt the party, which is what they are still doing till today. But, I mean, that is what we know, that it cannot happen again. Such a thing cannot repeat itself. And on the final note, I want to wish my Ebo, you know, Dr. Arababi, and of course, you know, Barrister Julius Abure, you know, a very, very good time. And I must say this on this station. Pastor Dayo Ekong, I am personally on national TV saying a big thank you to that woman, the Lagos State chairman of the Labour Party, because she is one person that listens, you know, to a large extent, you know, and she has tried her own best in her own way to do the best that she could for the party. And for me personally, you know, she gave me a role, a platform, you know, and I cannot deny, you know, being appointed as the then spokesperson for Labour Party in Lagos. And of course, I told her when the appointment came, I said, Mommy, I don't know how to lie you. I know how to say, no, I give you the chance, say the truth and stick to it. And I'm saying thank you to her on this national TV and wishing her a happy new year. And of course, to every Nigeria. And you know, last night was a 31st crossover, and this is how I got my spiritual go ahead for ADC. So when the pastor mounted the pulpit and he was going to quote the Bible, and he went to talk, and he said, the first thing he said was, in 2026, you are going to arise and shine. And the ADC, the slogan for the ADC is arise and shine. I say, God, are you speaking to me?
Okay, let's find out the final words, Mr. Rababi. So, just to wrap things up, because we're out of time, I'd like you to answer.
I think we lost connection with Mr. Rababi. But I'm sure he's watching.
All right. Anyway, I was going to ask him because Aisha Yusufu has denied that claim, that statement that she had taken from the money or took from the purse of the Labour Party, because there were a lot of statements made that she was in charge of the fund, she had used the money. And I was also going to ask, apart from mentioning that Aisha Yusufu has denied such statements, she has debunked it, I was also going to ask Mr. Dr. Rabambi if he said he was going to expose Mr. Peter Gregory the last time he joined.
Yes.
That he was going to expose him, that there's a deep secret. So now that he has left, I wanted to ask him, are you going to expose him now? Because this is the best time to expose him. If there
is absolutely nothing to be exposed on. If there is anything to be exposed, you know, on Peter Obi, is not Dr. Arabambi. Peter Obi has a bigger enemy in the APC. They have access to whatever it is that we don't even have access to. They would have exposed. There is nothing to expose about Peter Obi. What has been exposed here is that some people believe that their own party, interest, should be above the national interest. Some people believe that their, personal interests, and their gains should be above the collective good of the nation. And we cannot continue like that. We must stick to getting to rescuing this nation. As His Excellency has said yesterday, we are on a rescue mission, and we will do everything we can to rescue Nigeria from the hands of these predators that are holding us down.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to continue this conversation. The news is Mr. Peter Obi, formerly of the Labour Party and presidential candidate for 2023, has now pitched his tent with ADC, and we'll see what unfolds from there, because even members of the Labour Party, aggrieved members, say they are happy and they wish him well. Well, we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring to you the newspaper headlines, and not forgetting to also bring to you breakfast headlines, so stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Breakfast Central. Time for us to take a look at the front pages of the newspapers. That's what we're going to go to right away, as we'll be tying that in with some of the latest stories that's making the headlines this morning here on the front pages of the papers. Let's start off first with This Nigeria. That'll be our very first paper this morning.
Do you know why we're starting with This Nigeria?
Because today, This Nigeria is worthy of conversation.
I like you a lot. Thank you so much for being very sharp.
Thank you. NLC to push for new minimum wage in 2026.
We are back again.
Union leader Abure says workers endured a lot of hardship in 2025. NAF eliminates 2,351 terrorists in 274 air interdiction missions in 2025. We will soon reveal agreement reached with Fubara before Tinubu says Wike. No going back on allocation for rivers in 2027. Bear in mind that the FCT minister has presented his own candidate already. He has brought forth his own candidate, who will be the governor.
And that's not Fubara. He doesn't want Fubara to.
No, he said, like I told you, he said Fubara is not in the agreement. That Fubara is supposed to end his tenure. As soon as it's done, he's out. But the question is, I want to ask, as a godfather, your people will still have to choose. The River State people are the most powerful people, not but he does wield significant influence. So using that, his status, he could, sway the vote one way or the other. And I guess that's why they are called godfathers. But at the end of the day, you're right. The Rivers people would have to decide. But if the Rivers people choose that,
and I wonder where the president would, because he has to choose a side in this, or maybe he would just unlook and let them decide, since it's not from Rivers State, it's from Lagos State. But let's talk about the NLC push for minimum wage in 2026. Are we headed for a long-drawn battle between the Labour Congress and the government again? Are we looking at strikes? Because the minimum wage, I remember your drawing board edition, you did break down the minimum wage as to what it can do, how much a bag of rice is, a family of 4, and the convincing verdict was that the minimum wage is not even enough to take you home. It's not what you can call a take-home salary. It's more like, that's why it's a wage. It doesn't augur well for most Nigerian workers.
Can you augur well?
They are pushing for more. It's not a livable wage.
Exactly. And now
but since we're going to be we're already making huge amounts of money from the removal of fuel subsidy and savings, and we're going to be cashing in a lot with the new tax regime. Do you think that some of those extra earnings will be pushed towards the minimum wage, increasing the minimum wage? Because the government can't say they don't have money anymore.
Well, partially, if you recall, that was the partial agreement. That was the partial agreement that they said was made when they had met the president in the villa. that they were not just going to review the minimum wage immediately. They were asking for 600,000, if you remember, and then it came down to about 250 or 300 or so, and Nigerians said, that would be impossible. But now they said, okay, why they agreed to 70,000 naira was because it will be reviewed on a year-to-year basis.
Okay.
So
let's hope they keep their own side of the agreement.
It's 2026 already. When they go back to the villa, let's see what the conversations will look like, because truly 70,000 naira wouldn't do anything. But talking about the monies and the tax reforms, we want to move straight to our
the Daily
guest who
Independent,
joins us.
yes. On the front page of Daily Independent, we can see the stories there.
Exactly.
Big story there. Tinubu assures on more robust phase of economic growth. Federal civil service goes fully paperless. Federal government persecuting me for refusing to join APC, Bala Mohammed says. Federal government issues 4 trillion naira bond to offset power sector debts. Abure defects from APGA to ADC. Labour to push for new minimum wage in 2026, according to Ajero. Banking sector ownership shake-up looms as recapitalization deadline nears. Peter Obi defects to ADC, says journey to rescue Nigeria has begun. And finally, court rejects bid to halt implementation of tax laws, and Abuja High Court has denied has denied the opportunity and all legal parties standing in the way of Nigeria's new tax regime, saying that the federal government can officially go ahead and proceed. But let's talk about the tax laws. What this means is the first day of January, the tax laws officially kick-started today. Joining us to discuss what the tax laws, the implementation of these tax laws starting from today, the 1st January 2026, is Stanley Onora, the online banker. Good morning, Stanley.
Good morning, Stanley. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you. It's good to be here with you guys.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So, Stanley, let's start with, the implementation of this tax law starting from the 1st of January. Today, obviously, there's not going to be any going back on this from the government and even from the court's perspective. What should individuals and businesses know? What changes will this mean to how they do business and how they handle money?
So for a lot of business owners, I think for 80 to 80% of a lot of people that will be listening to this, they should understand that the tax bracket that is given for most small businesses, most of them do not fall under that. That's for 80%. So there's 100 million threshold turnover for a lot of for small businesses. And if you look at a lot of businesses in Nigeria, within a year, they don't do 100 million. So for a lot of them within that bracket, they don't need to bother. But for the people that fall within the bracket, from what we have seen in previous years, where a lot of people have not, don't even know that they are supposed to file for taxes ever. Like a lot of business owners, I have come across quite a number of them personally and, on consultation basis and all that. So what they would need to do going forward is that it's no longer business as usual, where you are supposed to charge VAT and remit to the government, and you don't do that, or where you are supposed to file and you're running a very big company, well known, and you do not have like proper bookkeeping. And that's another thing that is going to be very important going into this year, because a lot of people would need bookkeeping. They don't know how to, okay, I've made expenses here, I bought this, but this is how much I spent, these are my records, so that you can show the tax authorities. That is something that is going to be fundamental going forward into the year 2026 for the tax law.
All right. Thank you very much for setting that as the framework for which we'll have this conversation. I want us to talk about some of the common mistakes business owners have made in previous years that will no longer be allowed coming, January 1st is already here. But we're going to break, and when we come back, we'll have this conversation. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We're still looking at the tax laws that have officially kicked in today, the first day of January 2026, and we're joined by Stanley Onora, the online banker. Thank you very much for joining us, Stanley. And now let's talk about some of the common mistakes that business owners made before now that should no longer be employed in the new year, in terms of maybe how they prepare invoices or transfers? If you can shed some light on some of the common mistakes that they should avoid in this new dispensation.
So number one, for a lot of business owners, you're supposed to separate your business account from your personal account. That's the starting point, so that you have an account that you can track do your bookkeeping on. You know every money that comes in, and it's easier for you to do your reconciliation. That's one. Then number two, for the people that are supposed to pay, like VAT, there are exemptions that there are businesses that are tax exempt, and there are businesses that have zero rated VAT. And for the ones that are zero rated VAT, for some of them that do not know, like healthcare, things like sanitary pads, things like education, pharmaceuticals, once you have zero rated VAT, any VAT you incur in producing any of those goods or services, you can claim it back as an input back to you. So you can use it to offset maybe some other taxes that you have. So that's for zero rated VAT. Then there's others that are tax exempt, like rent, like public transportation. So those ones you don't charge VAT on that. So if you are within these categories, and agricultural products too. So if you are within this category, you don't need to prepare, your invoice should be different, and you don't need to bother, even if you are above the threshold that is given. For everyone that is below the 100 million threshold, you're exempted from VAT, you're exempted from company income tax and all. Therefore, all that for things like invoices, for a lot of for restaurants, for those big restaurants and all, you're supposed to have VAT at the end, so that you know that how you're preparing your invoice. And then you're supposed to have registered with the tax authorities, so that there is the new fiscalization that is being done, that if for every copy that you have, the government has the similar, so you can't come out and have disparity between what you have and what the government has. So it's a lot of mindset shifts and behavioral change for a lot of small business owners in the way that they are going to be running their business this year. But the most important thing for most small businesses is just to have your records, have your receipts. Please keep your receipt. If there's nothing I can teach anyone, is just to have a record, because there is no other form of having conversation with the tax authorities without a record. So if you buy fuel, for example, and you use your card and there's no place to just show that, just take a screenshot, just take a picture of that, and just have a file, maybe an email that you send all those receipts to, that you just keep. Somebody comes to make payments for this, just take a receipt. You are purchasing this, make a receipt, so that you can have that as your deductible at the end of, when you're doing your reconciliation. But if you do not have proof for that, and you just have those as expenses on there's no way to show that these expenses were expenses that you incurred in producing, in generating income, because that's what the law says. So any expense that you incur in generating income, you can deduct. But how do you prove that you use this to generate income? It's by all those proofs, which is receipts and proper bookkeeping.
All right, you've looked at the economy so well in terms of how impactful the new tax reform laws will be. But do you think Nigerians are generally ready for it? And you think with the entire backstory behind the tax reforms in terms of the gazetted, non-gazetted, do you think we're ready to go? Or would you, if you were in the shoes to give an advice, would you advise the number one citizen to possibly just take a breather, say for a month, and let Nigerians, get prepared fully? Or there is no better time to do it? Where do you stand?
Where I do stand is, for number one, there is actually no better time to implement anything. If you are embarking on a project, you do realize that no matter how prepared you are, there will be ups and downs. So there will always be time for more consultation and all. So if the government is saying they are moving ahead, well, the most important thing to me is a social contract that is supposed to exist between the people and the government. And that is why there's a lot of pushback. And even for the gazetted, non-gazetted, I'm not privileged to know. We're not sitting in the House of Reps or Senate and all. We're not privileged to know exactly what was written and then what was gazetted and all. Some of the mistakes that we even saw for us that are just, people that were able to access the law and to read, you notice that there was 50 million that was said and the tax authorities that came out later to say it's 100 million. So we do understand that maybe I don't know if they made mistakes and all, but that is beyond my purview. That is beyond you and I's purview. I'm sure the lawyers and the authorities have that. But if we're talking about implementation and what it means to the average man and to the average business owner in Nigeria, and vis-a-vis what the government is supposed to be doing for them, that social contract, if the people do not see the need, what their taxes are going to be used for directly, in terms of saying that there's judicious use of my money, there's issues of your money, because it's coming from my pocket for the people that are paying. And then you're hearing stories of embezzlement from one government or the other, from one government official or the other, then it feels like all my efforts in trying to be compliant and somebody just takes all that money from. So those are the contracts that needs to be fixed. This tax law has opened a lot of people's eyes to the fact they've been paying these taxes. A lot of these taxes are not new. They have been paying. But what this has done is that it has created an awareness. And the government should understand that it's not going to be business as usual, because the people are now going to feel a sense of responsibility to them in the sense that this is my taxpayer. That's why when you hear Western countries, you hear a lot of people talk about these are taxpayers' money. Nigerians will start to feel that force way forward.
And hopefully we'll feel that. And that brings me to my next question, because you look at countries like Norway, Sweden, Scandinavian countries, and other climes. The people see it as a duty. They're very happy to pay their taxes because they can visibly see the results of their taxes. Towards the end of last year, we did see that there was a huge revenue shortfall from the federal purse, and the government needs this money to carry out infrastructure, capital projects, and also provide healthcare and education. Now that this tax regime is has started, this new tax regime has been enforced, how much percentage of revenue will be accrued to the government, and when do we start seeing a visible difference in the lives of Nigerians?
So it's the law is the revenue sharing, which is another critical thing that Nigerians should take notice of. If you pay your personal income tax, it is going to your state. And if you check the development levy, the 4%, you see that it is shared between, education trust fund and all that. Then if you check the company income tax, and the way that it is shared, you see all how the money is shared along the states, the federal, even VAT, how it's shared along the states and the federal government. The states are going to be empowered. I think this should be stressed well enough. The states are going to be receiving a lot more funds as opposed to before. What are they going to be doing with that money for the people is a question that is a lot of people are not asking. A lot of people are channeling their energy towards the federal government. I feel that this energy should be held. We should hold our state governors we should hold them, because they are going to be receiving a bulk of this money if you look at how the breakdown comes down. So what the state should be doing will be very, very important going forward. And when we talk about education, when we talk about like the capital expenditure and all, yes, the government does actually need this money. Personally, I feel like that's why no matter what is being said, it's now a case of the government, you can see the deficit in the 2026 budget, the estimation. How are they going to even raise revenues without increasing the tax bracket? Every country is funded a lot by their taxpayers. But just like you mentioned, over in the West, where people feel compelled, they're happy to just go pay their taxes. If that social contract is restored a bit, because Nigerians are very easy to please. If they start to see that critical infrastructure is being put in place, and that the monies that they feel they are paying is now coming into good use, then and you are seeing proper development, I'm sure that a lot of people will even be happier coming to contribute. So that social contract has to be there, it has to be restored between the government and the people. And then secondly, we should look at the state and where these monies that they're going to be collecting are going to be used for. Should not be business as usual. We should hold them accountable.
Now, Stanley, I'm glad you mentioned the social contract, which is a very important dimension to this tax regime. We've seen the government and also the tax czar, Mr. Oloyede, has been very active on Twitter. They've been putting out explainer videos, but some of these things sound really technical. How can the government get the buy-in of ordinary Nigerians and also ensure compliance in a way that, you know, that shows that they understand the real meaning of the social contract and that they're doing this for the greater good of Nigerians?
That is why stations like yours exist. The government is supposed to invest massively in education, because we are dealing with a country of over 200 million people. Our literacy level isn't really high within the country. So you have to find avenues to break down this information to the smallest man on the street. That is one. Then secondly, when we talk about, you know, the information that is being passed and that the social contract, how the people on the streets are understanding, you know, this tax law, they need to make it very clear to the market woman on the streets that you are exempted from paying this tax. There is a lot of agitation from small business, especially petty traders. The government is coming to tax me. The government is coming to tax me. The government is coming to tax me. It means that whatever they are doing, as much as information being passed, they are not hitting those people on the streets. Whether it's through social media, you know, it came out with a list of creators on the space that they say they wanted to train. I don't think that is enough. They have to go further to find ways of localizing this. Use the market unions, use the because I think those are some of the people that reach the very base. Use the market unions, use them to pass out this information that a lot of you that are worried about this are not even going to be paying any form of tax. You are even exempted. The tax law now brings an exemption to you. But if that is not being done, people will keep feeling agitated. And I fear that there will be on a price increase in certain sectors that are not supposed to be, because people will generally feel like, oh, there's tax that is coming. And I hear that a lot from small business owners, and I try to correct them. Say, oh, there's this tax that is coming, so I'm going to increase this money so that I can pay tax. That is not how it works. But that information dissemination from their own end has to be more thorough.
Thank you so much, Stanley Noah, for speaking with us, especially as the tax reforms gets in action. Nigerians are still wondering what it means. I mean, the cross-section still really don't understand. I guess it's a lot of work for the orientation, Nigeria orientation agency to help sensitize the public. And thanks for doing your best as well.
Yes, and thanks for talking to us on the first day of the year. Yeah. We appreciate your sacrifice.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for having me. Right. Happy New Year.
Great. Let's go back to the papers. We're looking at the Daily Independent earlier on, and there's some stories I want to take a look at there on the Daily Independent right there on the front page. Peter Obi defects to ADC, says journey to rescue Nigeria has begun. The question now is, who will rescue Nigeria from the ADC? Because you do have a lot of political bigwigs in one party. You have former governors. You have Rotimi Amici, you have Peter Obi himself. You also have a former vice president in the name of Atiku Abubakar, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. You do have a former Senate president, just so many of them. Time will fail us if we go through the list, but again, we've had reps from the party stating clearly that worry not about the names, just worry about what you're going through now. That's what they say, because their job, they see themselves as the Messiah, and they're looking forward to redeem, as it were, what they say. redeem Nigerians from that. Tinubu assures that more robust phase of economic growth, vows to continue with global partners to eliminate insecurity, plans to empower 1,000 people in each of the 8,806 wards, asks citizens to stand together in unity, uphold patriotism, and that's what he says. By the way, if you're watching us, if you want to call in, be our first caller for today and for the year, please feel free. We'll try and put a number on the screen for you so you can dial in. Let's see who our first caller for 2026
we'd like to hear from you.
Will be while we wait for that call to come in. Let's quickly check our final paper today. I don't know if we do have another paper, but
before then, I want us to see our paper, our story on the front page of the Daily Independent. Federal government persecuting me for refusing to join APC, Bala Mohammed says.
I mean, is it a legitimate cry, and or what do we make of this? Is it
all of a sudden
wolf,
because of the FCC
yes,
has then said that he?
But he has immunity, but they seem to be, in his words, harassing his Commissioner of Finance.
Commissioner of Finance said he has been picked up by the EFCC.
Terrorism financing. This is a very serious issue.
Said his Commissioner of Finance has been picked up for financing terrorism. He also mentions that he said, "I have kept quiet too long. I am not a coward." That's what Governor Bala Mohammed says. The federal government should look at its tax system. He also highlights why the tax system should be stopped. I think one of the points here is that because he has failed to join the APC, that's what he says. Does aligning with the center mean that you'd be free from any form of
what
corruption?
I can tell you from what I witnessed yesterday in Lokoja at the end of the year party with the White Lion, who's a member of the APC. I'm talking about the former governor of Kogi State, Mr. Yaya Bello. You should have seen the way he was dancing. There was also Odumodu Black there.
Wow.
The way he was dancing, you wouldn't think there's the albatross of a 80 billion naira fraud case or a graft case on his neck. He seemed very free, and that's where the principle of deodorization and insecticization comes in. Right now, it's a tale of two governors, one ex-governor, current governor. One is feeling the impact of the EFCC's insecticization, the person of Bala Mohammed. And then we're also witnessing one that is dancing with reckless abandon. You would think he has no case to answer, no single problem in this world. He's also said he's interested in the Kogi Central senatorial seat. So that's a classic example of the deodorization, political deodorization we've been talking about. But he did show some really nice steps. He's a young and vibrant governor. On the side, yes, he was really vibing to Odumodu Black. Olive, do you like Odumodu Black?
So that please don't set me.
Oh, Odumodu Green.
This is the first day of the new year.
Let's check another story quickly. Federal Civil Service goes fully paperless.
That's good.
Federal Civil Service goes fully paperless.
Can they enforce it? And that is also taking food away from a lot of people. But it's, I mean, it's in line with global best practices.
With change comes responsibility.
Exactly. So, look at New Central. We've gone fully paperless for quite some time now. Yeah. And, I mean, change is never easy, but you have to get used to it.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it means if you go to any civil service, any of the offices or departments, you don't need to write your name here and bring this. Those days there was docket and all of that. They go check for your file, and when they find your file, they'll try to find your name, check your number. Now it's computerized, we hope, and all they need to do is just impute your name.
And it reduces human-to-human interactions. That's where corruption comes in. That's when they say happy weekend, find something for us.
No, with this one, there will still be happy weekend though.
Yeah, because you might need to collect documents. And
you have to print out, or they send via email. There's no way happy weekend will not work.
Happy weekend will come because they will say server is down. And for server to come up.
How did you know?
You need something to oil it.
They say, server is down. No.
But that was in 2025. I believe 2026 is it's a new year.
I believe I can fly.
And I believe everyone will change their attitude.
If you were told, if we're told to list the 5 things we wouldn't want to hear or see from from those in service, what would they be?
Number one for me, 2026, because yesterday's sun. Have you witnessed the weather in the last few days?
Extremely hot.
Extremely hot.
No, I'm talking about
and then
service.
the Nigerian police, yes, they are Nigerian police.
Okay.
They are also
Okay,
part
that's
of
number
service.
one.
They are rendering
Okay.
the service.
Yeah.
They
Happy
should
customer.
never bring up that tin permit issue. The country is hot. If you want to stop somebody, your tin permit, the tint on your car is not immunity from search.
Yeah.
They need to understand that. You will still pull over and they can search and verify the identity of who's driving. But the sun is crazy. Global warming is real. Even with your AC, sometimes
it's not working.
You still sweat because of the intensity of the sun. So tints are not decorative. Tints are there for a reason.
One, two. By the way, tint permit starts tomorrow. January
don't remind
2nd.
them now.
So we're going to find out if it's going to really start. But the
courts,
there's an ex parte order.
We obey the courts.
Yeah, let's
in
see if
Nigeria.
they
We're not
will.
a lawless country.
But let's see if they will obey the court order.
They will obey.
That's what matters.
Yes.
Okay, that's one. Two, things we don't want to see. 2026.
Well, defection is a part of it.
It will happen.
No, defection will happen. There's nothing we can do about it.
There's nothing that we can say
We'll
about
get
it.
to see a lot of that.
So talking about things we don't want to see from
Potholes.
politicians or generally as Nigerians.
From those in service.
Can I say that in 2026, we are asking for our national grid to stop collapsing? Whatever we need to give the national grid, if we need to give it glucose for it to be strong and stop collapsing, let's do it. Because every other day, this 2025, national grid collapses again. Shock us. Let the Minister of Power shock us.
The question
and let the
is,
national grid not collapse. Let, they need to do whatever needs to be done to ensure that we have power.
Olive.
Tell me.
Well said. That's number two. But where is the Minister of Power?
The Minister of Power, last time I heard, it was in an argument with a prophet that wanted to buy 10,000 trumpets. I don't know if he wanted to blow for rapture because of his political ambition. And some people have said, he can step aside because he seems to be more interested in the governorship position of your state than in power. And you can't serve two masters.
Number three thing I think one would not want to see in 2026 is...
Mine is potholes.
Potholes.
For Lagos State, for example.
I think that's...
We're not even talking of hinterland or outskirts, satellite communities.
Have you seen the videos of
We're talking of major roads. Do you know how much I spent on repairs in the last year?
It's too much.
I mean, now I'm regretting my choice of car because I drive a low rider, a V8 engine. And it's not suitable for this sort of places. I wish I was in Monaco or Miami, driving through the sunset.
Have you seen the streets of Morocco?
It's not too late.
Morocco.
But another thing I wouldn't want to see is non-functioning traffic lights. The traffic lights are put for a reason to help with the regulation of traffic. And, basically, we don't want to keep seeing last mile people doing what the traffic lights should have been doing. Sometimes for those of us who live very early, here in Lagos, for example, there are people who live as early as 5 a.m. At certain points you need to cross, you will pray before you cross because there's no traffic light working. There's no official at that time of the day because it's too early and it's a potential accident hazard waiting to happen. If there were traffic lights, there will be less accidents. And I say this because people will not need to put on their full lights. When you're driving at night, somebody coming from the opposite direction is blinding you.
Yeah.
People will need to put on their full lights. The roads will look lit. And we don't have to use, we can just get into solar. The world is keeping up with modern best practices, and in doing that, they're employing sustainable options, right? But let's take our first caller all the way from Delta State, Warri to be precise. Onos Alpha. Good morning and thank you for calling. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Thanks for being our first caller for 2026.
And please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can have a productive conversation.
Okay. Good morning.
Unfortunately, Onos, this call is not working.
Because of the quality of the call, we are afraid we can't take you. You need to turn off your TV when you call us. Thank you.
Okay, we're actually almost at the end of the show.
Yeah, you mentioned 4. I think number 5, I think one thing we'd like to see we wouldn't like to see is lack of transparency, especially now that we're going into the tax reform laws. It's very key. My advice to the government, or better still, would be let's have a weekly, if it's too much, a monthly, if it's too much, a quarterly report that's published on the front pages or in the dailies, carrying Nigerians along, letting them know that the federal government and the state government should be able to publish these things, especially when you pay your personal income tax. The state government should be able to mention that this was realized for this quarter, this is what it was used for, and this is, and so on and so forth. I always say that a system that works for the benefit of the people continues to build trust, but a system that works to the not to the benefit of the people continues to erode trust, and that's where we are right now currently. That's why it's hard for people to really accept the new tax reform laws. People are still saying, is it my money they're going to use to drive a convoy, and then the roads are bad, and so on and so forth. And one last thing I wish we wouldn't see in 2026, help the street urchins off the streets. If there's a way they can take the street urchins off the streets, aka the area boys, I think that would do a great deal, trust me, for 2026. If they can take them off the streets.
Find them productive activities.
And there are many ideas, Binga. The country is lacking in facilities and factories. Build factories, get them employed, let them work in these factories. We are blessed with rubber, we're blessed with all of the natural resources. Let's make something out of it. Let's become an exporting nation. These guys are the first core, they're the first people, first point of call, the point of call you'd see, the first responders that I think you should put in front. Get them employed. If they can get stable income, they can also get low income housing. It could be a room self-contained that can be built within that same space. Let them have that. And you see, once they start living, like, because what they're doing now, they're not living. Trust me. But then again, election season is here, Binga, 2026. So, I think that last point I just raised.
I mean, it's shocking. You know, the other day, just before we wrap up, there was a video of Burna Boy exiting the club with the retinue of supercars and the convoy, and the person that posted it on Twitter said, wow, this thing bust my head. I look at this, he's making a grand departure and things like that. I was excited about the number of expensive cars on the convoy. And somebody now retweeted and said, what should baffle you, or what should be shocking you is the able-bodied men running after these cars. Yeah. Thousands of them early in the morning. I mean, we really do have a problem in our hands. But hopefully we'll do something about it.
Thank you so much for starting the first edition of Breakfast Central for 2026 with us. Don't forget to be back again for the second edition tomorrow. Oh my goodness, it feels like today was Friday.
I know.
My name is Joe Hansen.
My name is Olive M.O.D.
And my name is Benga Aborowa.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. See you guys
Happy New Year once again.
Bye.
Bye.